Well, good afternoon everybody. It's 10 to 4, or nearly 10 to 4, and the sun is going to go down in about 30 minutes. In fact, I thought it was going to go down just as I was walking this last bit, but there's a tiny bit of sun. I don't know what you can... just going to go behind that hill in a minute. So I left the car at Harford and then walked pretty much straight here and back to my usual spot. Another two-nighter. I'm going to stay here for the 2 nights this time. Various reasons. Time isn't really one, but time because it's getting dark soon, and this is just a really convenient place to get to for winter. Also, I want to try and do a couple of like videos, not really reviews as such, but reviews on the new MLD Burrow pack and the Pacer Pole dual lock. I never really quite get around to doing these things at home these days. I used to do these things a while ago, but I haven't I haven't had a chance to do them so much at home. So it's kind of like a good opportunity to come out, have a couple of nights out, and then the day in between either have a walk like I did the last couple of times, or as I say, on this occasion I'm gonna stick in one place because it's dark at 4:30, 5. In the summer months I could go for a walk here, get back at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, having left early afternoon or something like that for a short walk, and still have 3 or 4 hours ahead of me to do a little video or something. That's not an option now. I could get back at 3 or 4 and it's dark before I know it. So that's partly that's also the reason why I was thinking I'd pitch here and stay here for 2 nights, and we'll see what happens over the next few months as to whether I do the same then or not. Quite possible I will, but we'll see. I don't seem to get away from the house until lunchtime, and by the time I get here and I've walked here, like I said, it was a 45-minute 50-minute walk here, and I like to have some light before setting up camp if possible, and also I like to get into camp when it's light. I could pitch everything when it's dark, that doesn't bother me so much, but for finding a spot, even one that I know, it's easier in daylight. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling along. Okay, well, it's about 4:20, so sunset has kind of like officially happened. Thankfully there's still some light left. We've probably got about half of an hour left before it gets really dark. Maybe 40 minutes. It kind of depends how quickly it gets dark here, but I was certainly expecting 50 minutes at in 40 minutes at 5 o'clock that it would be pretty dark here. So I've come back to my big erection, really, in in mild, pleasant, storm-free weather. Frankly, this really is just unbeatable, and I just don't see the point in taking a tarp. I know I used the tarp in the summer, and I don't know about this year, but I know last year it was all bravado. I try not to do that too much at the camera, but it was like all bravado, saying I'm going to come out here in the middle of winter in a tarp, and why? Why? There's just, apart from just I don't know, I just don't see the point. When you got this in your arsenal, I said Arsenal, then this really does make, you know, the absolute most sense for everything. And as I say, I was thinking of trying to do, you know, a couple of videos or so tomorrow, and if it's windy or, you know, I need some shelter to do the videos, then I've got my own studio. Bear Clooney on his watch channel has his studio, and all these other watch people have their studios where they do their watch videos and things. Well, this is my this is my studio. Right. So, as I say, obviously this is the MLD Super Mid. I've pitched it fairly close to the ground, mainly the back. The back is mostly the closest to the ground. I could pitch it a little bit lower, but if you go much lower it will start to lose its shape a little bit. I could maybe pitch it an inch lower without losing shape, maybe 2 at a pinch, but that's a good height for here. I'll leave the door open all night. There's no rain forecast, little to no wind. The wind is going to be coming from the south, which is this way. I believe the wind will also pick up tomorrow. So as I say, I've pitched the back quite close to the ground, the front a bit higher, and that's just a handy way of giving me height. I've pitched the hems on all sides, apart from the front where I've used 1 peg. I've pitched all hems using 2 pegs, the 2 peg system. It just gets that hem a little bit closer to the ground. When I got here, I wasn't wearing my jumper, and I put my jumper on, and even now it's starting to cool off a bit now that sun has dropped down and I'm just walking around. So I'm going to go down, get water, and then come back and get a few things set up inside before it gets, you know, really dark and starts getting really cold. Okay, well, good morning everybody, and let's see, sit your backside down. And Lassie just did a great big stretch, bottoms up. So I spared you that view. That's a beautiful view for me in the morning. Right, yeah, so anyway, good morning from us. It's 10 past 11. I think I fell asleep last night at about 10:30. I woke up, I think, about 6:30. I may have woken up at 3 as well, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I fell asleep again on both occasions, and then the next thing I knew, it was about 9:30. Apart from waking a couple of times, you know, for tea, which literally just was a few minutes, I had nearly 11 hours sleep last night, so I rather enjoyed that. Helped me catch up with some sleep. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what the plan is today. Basically, the plan is we're just going to do Sweet FA, really. I will have to get out of the sleeping bag at some point. I'm not rushing, I will admit, but I will have to get out at some point because we're going to need more water. And I will probably give Lassie a quick stretch up that way later on. I think for the moment, I'm just going to chill out and relax in here. I'll try and do a video. I'm not quite sure how easy it's going to be in here, to be honest, but I'll try and do a video on the burrow in the evening. There's a frost developed on the inside, and I think the clouds must have come over around about midnight or something like that, and then, you know, it warmed up at that point. But even with the frost, when I was sitting up in camp watching my watching a film and that type of thing. I had this on, down jacket, and that kept my upper body warm as it was sticking out, as it were. But then when I got into the sleeping bag, I just took that off. And this sleeping bag, which is rated at -5, I've just got a long sleeve merino tee thing under, and then this hooded fleece on top, and that combination kept me very warm, I will say. One thing I have noticed, I think I've picked up a bit of an intolerance to milk. So I noticed after I never used to have it, but I've noticed recently, over the last sort of, I suppose the last sort of year or 3 really, but it's been more noticeable the last 6 months or something like that. When I have porridge especially, unless it's an intolerance to the wheat, of course, and maybe it's not the milk, but I think it is the milk, because I find it with tea sometimes as well. But I have porridge with milk in it, of course, and I sometimes get a really big sneezing fit after, great sneezing fit afterwards, and get all congested. Anyway, it might be annoying, but I don't think it's going to kill me, and I do like my milk and cereal. But anyway, I think I'm going to make another tea, and then I'm going to sort of have some porridge, just unwind for a bit, and then I'll think about doing a video on that pack. Power packs must have got, I put my power packs next to me on top of a few bits of clothing, and then I put my coat over the top, and I put my phone and camera and everything like that sort of on top of clothes and under and under my jacket. But I noticed this morning that when I went to try both my power packs for charging up the camera, they wouldn't work. So I ended up putting camera and power pack inside the sleeping bag for a couple of minutes, and that was enough just to get a bit of warmth into it to juice it up a bit. And this power pack was the same. I've got 2. And this power pack was the same for the camera. So maybe the power packs were okay. Maybe it was the battery and the, you know, the circuitry in the camera that wasn't taking the power. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, once I put said battery pack and camera inside the sleeping bag for a few minutes, that got it going. Phone and power packs, you know, work fine. Okay, well, when I got up this morning, I did some videos on the Rolex Yachtmaster, on this burrito pack, and on my walking poles. I'm not sure if I said good morning or not. So if I didn't say good morning, I'll say good morning now, even though it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. In fact, it's nearer 4:20 in the afternoon. So the sun's going to go down very, very soon, and it's night time again soon. So it's been a fairly relaxing yet sort of busy-ish day or afternoon, making sort of different videos. So if this camping video is short, and they never are, but if it is, then it's because I was busy doing some other mini videos. I brought the tripod for this one. It's just an absolute tip, and I think it's even more of a mess than usual around here today, because I want to do a separate video now while there's a tiny bit of light on this packet of food here. Alright, so I'm currently in the process of finishing a Rolex Yachtmaster video and demonstrating the timing facility on it, and I'm also halfway through a video on this meal here. Well, good morning everybody. I remembered to say good morning this time. Not doing any extra videos today, heading back home today, later. I'm not in any rush at the moment. So I'm just sort of chilling out here. It's about 20 to 12. I woke up at about 11. I fell asleep eventually at about 1. I was really tired at 8, and I thought I'd fall asleep at 8, but I didn't. So I stayed awake until about 1, watching a film and chilling out with that. And then I think it was about 1 when I finally fell asleep. It got quite windy during the night, so I closed the door last night about, I don't know, 9-10 o'clock, something like that. I closed the door. So it just helps keep the shelter, you know, structurally sound when it gets windy. It's better to close it up, but there's plenty of air movement, as you can see, so we're not exactly short of a breeze in here, but that's fine. I've put Lass's bed away. That's but the only thing I've put away, to be honest. I've just done my porridge, so I've packed pretty much everything away. Just got to collapse the shelter. We've come to the end of our November walk. I honestly don't know if I'm going to get out in December or not. I've got a few things on at home. If I don't get out and I don't do another video before Christmas, then I'm going to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. So I wonder whether people are not getting notified of videos, to at least have a